Welcome to Drew's Brew, episode 5. I'm Andrew, and today I have water because I'm overly caffeinated these past few days. And the recent struggle I've had is the emotions of guilt and shame and how they keep you stuck, and when you just kind of focus on who you used to be instead of who you can be. So very often you hear the words guilt and shame, and it's really easy to dismiss it. Like, you know it's not a positive thing, but you never really have it clearly in your head, you know? Like what they really are, what they are. You don't have clear definitions in your head. And for me, I've noticed this kind of leads to loops, cycles, in which you keep repeating the same actions and keep proving those emotions to be right. Because you don't really have a clarity. You don't have clarity on what they are, how they impact you, and that's what I aim to talk about. So guilt is the response you feel when you feel as if you've done something wrong, like missing the deadline, or saying something that hurts someone you care about's feelings, or just overall doing something wrong. And shame is what you feel when you feel as if you're the problem. Like when you feel like as if you've tried everything and you just bang your head against the wall over the same problem, where you know that you're wrong, yet you still keep messing up and you still keep doing the things you know you shouldn't. Now, these two are very helpful if you really think about it, in like keeping your ego in check, you know, make sure you're not an asshole to everybody. Because if you didn't feel guilt when you wrong someone, or you didn't feel shame when you're in the wrong, then you're just gonna keep making the same mistakes and you're gonna keep dismissing everybody else. So it's no good. But the problem with this is when you kind of anchor yourself down, when you get too caught up on the past and you keep blaming your mistakes, and you keep looking at the cycles of you messing up, and you keep using that as evidence to keep yourself back from progressing into the future. Kind of nails you down in place, so you can't really progress past the mistakes that are causing you this guilt and shame. Personally, I've been feeling guilty for kind of wasting the past couple years. I've been dwelling a lot on everything that I've failed to do and all the inaction that I've done, rather than all the things I have done, which is very little. So the guilt and shame is justified, but that's kind of kept me in the loops and in the cycles of trying to start, and then guilt and shame creep in when you realize, wow, I could have done this entire time. And it just slowly leads to you getting broken down, leads you back into the beginning of the cycle again. And this just keeps you frozen. It keeps you from moving past everything that you have done wrong. And all this guilt and shame kind of builds this belief, this identity that you are someone that has done all this wrong. And then you keep proving that right. And you keep believing that is who you are. And this kind of sets limits onto yourself that you can't go past it. And then all this time spent feeling bad about the time you're wasting ends up becoming the time that you've wasted that you end up feeling bad about, if that makes any sense at all. And then you become focused on who you were instead of all the things you can do. It just keeps pulling you down each time you are starting to surface and grow and change and prove them wrong. Yourself, that is. Well, shit, you might be thinking, as I was and I am still. What do you do now? Now that you know what the problem is, what do you do about it? Fret not, little jit, for I have a solution. One solution. As corny as it sounds, you just need to let that shit go. You need to forgive yourself for all the things you haven't done, or all the things you have done, the things that are causing you to feel guilty. and you just have to kind of just bury it in the ground and move past it. I personally never felt more free and hopeful and powerful as to when those things didn't matter. You're doing what you want to do in the moment, and you're not worried about what's in front of you, what's behind you. You're just present, doing what you know you want to be doing. Now, this is much easier said than done, of course, but one important thing to remember is not to come up with excuses for everything you've done. Forgiveness is releasing the emotions, not forcing them out, because that won't help at all, but recognizing them as wrong and mistakes and just resting, just allowing them to be free. Be very gentle, not forceful in any way, and just allow your past to leave, to go away, leave you alone. And that's forgiveness, I think. And excuses are recognizing it's wrong, but playing the victim and not taking accountability for any mistakes you've made on your end. You'll find any other reason for why you have failed, everything playing against you, and you will not hold yourself accountable for all the shortcomings you've had. Now, the excuses do make you right, but you're also wrong, because you are exactly what you believe you are. If you think that everything is working against you, that you are not at fault for anything that happens to you, then you're right. But if you believe that you are at fault for all the things you haven't done, for all the inaction in the things that have gone wrong for you, you're also right. So it's important to adopt the mentality that actually allows for you to grow and change, because if not, you stay stuck. So be open-minded. Believe you are human, which I hope you are, and you make mistakes, but that those mistakes don't define who you are. You can still be something beyond them. So to change your mindset, you need to first believe it, and before you can believe something, you need to live it. You need to do the things that cause you to believe it. You can't just force this idea down your head that you are this person and have no evidence to support it. Well, you can, but that would require some level of brainwashing probably. So a good way I found is journaling and mindfulness. So the first step in journaling is to identify the emotion and to just realize what it is that's going wrong, And then once you label it, you know exactly what it is that you need to let go of. Also, I'd like to add, when you are addressing what is happening and journaling generally, I like to write it as you, like you are doing this or this is happening to you, rather than I. Because when you're a lot kinder to other people than you are to yourself most of the time, at least me. So writing as if you're talking to a friend is a way to be a lot more gentle and less of a dick, because I don't really think you'd be as much of an asshole to your friends as you are to yourself. I hope. Adding on to that friend thing, if you do really feel like you have somebody close in your life, anybody at all, I would recommend talking to them as well. Kind of just putting out, just saying what it is that you are going through, whatever it is that you are being held back from. Because saying it out loud helps you to see all the negative thoughts that you're having, all the things that are just wrong. That's what's so beneficial about writing it down as well. But I find talking with a person is more helpful because you get other perspectives as well, Like, you're only going to see things the way you see them when you're talking to yourself. But when you're talking to someone else, well, they might see it from a completely different perspective. and it could help a lot with your understanding on the no good monkey speak. So with that, I really encourage you to talk to yourself or to someone else. And I know it can be hard to tell your problems to somebody, obviously. That's why not everyone goes to therapy, even though it's helpful. But if you really do want to change, then that's what I think you should do. And if you have no one to talk to, you can just talk in the comments, where I'll respond, or whoever else is watching could respond, and we could all just unload your baggage together. Remember, no one knows who you are down there, so it doesn't really matter what you say. So just be honest, really. Now, I think that's all I got. That's Drew's Brew episode 5, everyone. So go fix your problems, because I'm gonna go fix mine too. Okay, bye.